the clock on Detroit's most listened to station. Sounds good like a radio station should.
CAR, your good listening station in Detroit, correct?
Every creation starts with a hand. Bodies, bodies and more bodies, faces, faces and more faces, hands, hands and more hands, brittle hands, unshakable constructions, destroyed throats, indestructible singing. Frida, how do you paint singing?
We can produce anything! Every manifest starts with holding out a hand. This innovative, original product which we present to you today is an absolute novelty on the market. This product opens a new chapter for all productions. This creation will be introduced to the world market this year. This newly assembled product contains American parts and American dreams, American speed, enthusiasm, and vitality. American infinite horizon, American freedom. This product is not afraid of risk. It is not afraid of its own downfall. This product is called Detroit.
Joy, bright spark of divinity, daughter of Elysium, fire inspired, we tread thy heavenly, thy sanctuary. Thy magic power reunites all that custom has divided. All men become brothers under the sway of thy gentle wings.
A workday starts with holding out a hand. Detroit, Michigan, July 24th, Monday, 9:18 local time, 97 degrees Fahrenheit. It is sunny, no wind. Visibility is excellent. It is a perfect day to celebrate the 250th birthday of our beloved city. Let me remind you that Detroit was founded on July 24th, 1701, and is older than our oldest president, older than the Constitution, yet it remains young in spirit. We have been receiving wishes from all around the world. Despite such an early hour, we have received hundreds of wishes and congratulations. Celebrations are commencing in every corner of the city. Districts, streets, houses, cars, and even home appliances surpass one another in coming up with original ideas for celebrating this glorious anniversary.
We can produce anything! President Harry Truman visits the city to announce something that everyone knows.
Detroit is the symbol of America. Detroit is the heart of America. America that is full of daring ideas, brilliant initiatives, innovative technology, astounding energy that ensure us position of the uncontested world leader. America that will not let me grow old. America that gave rise to civil society, America that gave rise to independent trade unions, America that offers democracy to others, America that offers 1,000 opportunities for each of its square meters, America that gave rise to Detroit, Detroit that understands best the American idea of lack of boundaries. America needs a car affordable to every household. America wants to be explored, traveled, tamed, run over by a brand new Pontiac.
America that will become the entire world.
America that is ready for love. Every corner of America screams, I have a dream, and we can respond to American dreams only with, yes, we can.
Yes, we can! Yes, we can! Yes, we can!
I pledge on behalf of my crew and myself that the next model will be even more proud, worthy, that it will be even longer, more solid, and beautiful. We promise that it will be more durable, more faithful to American values. Promise that it will be more family-friendly, courageous, warm, and honest. And patriotism will be expressed in the sound of its engine, which will produce the melody of the national anthem instead of a roar. We promise, Mr. President,
that we will never lose faith, that we will never lose our joy of creation, that we will invest everything we have in every small boat. We'll never grow out of our dreams. I promise I promise.
Yes. We are building stations. We are building halls. We are building cities.
At the time of its creation, it had already started producing its downfall. A desirable job was passed down from father to son. This movement continued uninterrupted for 118 years.
To overcome time, we can fill them with music and lights.
Every day, we process 1,500 tons of steel and 500 tons of glass. Every 49 seconds, a brand new car leaves the factory. The newborn waits for someone to buy it, to domesticate it, to simply love it. What else can we give to America? Because I did not ask what America can give me, but every day I ask myself, what else can I give to America? And I listen to the answers in the engines of my vibrating machines.
We present to you the child of our dreams, Lincoln Homeland, longer than a Cadillac and other enormous models. It is so long that thousands of Americans in 1956 will rebuild their garages. It is so long that we will change the degree of road turns.
The Lincoln rolls off the production line. Freed from the hands of man, it is no longer just a piece of metal. It enters its own life, full of metaphysical subtleties. Its splendor excites, its smoothness encourages, its speed shocks, its self-confidence is inspiring. Its masculinity shields with a steady arm. The driver and the Lincoln become one precise body, one sinuous figure yearning for magical highways.
And where are those highways? How am I supposed to speed up? How am I supposed to inspire the masses? How do I revolutionize the world? How?
As a deer pants for flowing streams, so pants this city for you to pour asphalt soul into it, for eternal traffic to continue inside it. More than for silver, gold movies, Detroit longs for highways.
Let all the roads of the mighty America lead here. Let them cross here in the center. Let them cross here inside us, in our devoted hearts.
A highway will be the heart of this factory. All the roads of this continent will cross right here.
Noise will tear apart your plans, our thoughts and our feelings.
It's not noise, it's music.
We can produce anything.
We can think of and create everything.
We can fulfill every dream.
I think America doesn't need pedestrians. It's not the right rhythm, it's not the right beat. America wants to sail, to fly. The legs of American races are specialized in jogging. America does not need pavements. It needs runways and running tracks.
It is thanks to my highways that Thelma and Louise, Wild at Heart, The Motorcycle Diaries, Easy Rider, and Natural Born Killers could be made. Without highways, none of the characters would move from one place and live through all of the fascinating adventures.
And why is there still no expressway on McKinley? Why does nobody think of the people who cannot climb it but dream of limitless horizon?
Equal horizons for everyone?
I want my horizon to be so big that it doesn't fit the screen.
The highway will lead to every garage. It will be sold together with the car, and the landscape will be sold with the highway.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true.
Let's build a highway on the arc of a rainbow. Right now, I am working on the discovery of a metal that weighs nothing. It can carry 1,000,000 tons, hundreds of millions of tons. I'm already there. I'm riding the crisp surface of the rainbow. I see, I feel, I touch heavenness. I create with heavenness. Again, I overtake the creator and nature in a brand new Pontiac. There is no speed limit. Above the earth, there are no earthly laws. I overtake planes. I left the birds long ago at the bottom. I rush alone. I reach a speed I do not understand, that does not fit me. I reach time. Its frames and cracks are breaking. I cover my tracks with tires. I touch timelessness. I don't think I'm human anymore. Who am I? I've burned all concepts of combustion gases. I've scattered words above stars that demand to be named by me.
The right of novelty, the right of freshness, the right to dream, to reach the stars in the Pontiac.
In order to make great things, we need to move around the world with tremendous speed. Speed is the most valuable commodity.
How do you accelerate tremendous speed?
It will withstand every Hurricane Katrina, Regina, Irene, Sandy, as long as it spins, whirls, as long as there's movement.
Expansion, expansion, expansion of speed, speed in every direction, ultra speed, speedy steel, speedy hands, speedy chest.
But you've got my district in your hands. My pole town, 1,300 houses, 140 small companies, 6 churches, 3 schools, 2 hospitals.
All the elements will be transferred outside of the city and installed in similar constellations.
This is my birthplace. My first kiss at a ball my senior year. This tree is the death of my father. Wedding, 1945. The first bicycle ride with my son. My first lost tooth. It's still here.
You can't make an omelet without breaking eggs.
This is my everyday commute. My Sunday walk here to the pond. Cafe Amanda. The best coffee in the city. Federico, the hairdresser, he inherited his profession from his father from his grandfather, who came here from Sicily before World War I. Filipinos, Italians, Yugoslavs, Poles, Africans. 2 centuries of work, 2 centuries of understanding, 2 centuries of socializing, 2 centuries of petite neighborly traditions, 2 centuries together. It's no ordinary district.
The creative process demands small sacrifices.
Picnics with neighbors, a bridge, my parish.
You will meet greater people in a greater district, and you can do greater things together.
I don't want these bridges, tunnels, stadiums, shopping centers.
You don't want progress. You don't want history. You don't want modernity.
I want modernity, but I want my pole town to remain my pole town.
You can't have everything. And that district is falling apart anyway. Everyone's going to leave, and no one will pay you more than $1,000 for these houses of yours. I have permission for modernization anyway. I'm going to build, and you can do everything you can to stop me, because I will stop at nothing. Have you read Faust? A great work. Solid. True.
The American entrepreneurial spirit never gives up.
You don't want to end up like Baucis and Philemon, do you?
You love society, but you don't love people. Society is a faceless mass for you, a specific need for recreation, entertainment, leisure, novelty.
You won't be able to create anything until you are ready to lose everything. Let us boldly face the arrogance of nature. Let us hire Lake Michigan so that its mindless waves start working for America at last. We will hire the ocean and waste so much energy, hour after hour, it could fuel all the electrical circuits with that force. Let us capture the wind in cellar barrels. We will use it to fill engines of rockets and jets. Let's hire the moon. Let's bring it closer to Earth.
I felt that by fighting Ford, I fought with myself. My fear of the new district was a fear of new life. Perhaps I'm afraid of a change for the better, for the more solid, more happy.
I started a mural a week ago. I can't remember why I even accepted the job. With every line, dot, smudge, I try to remind myself of the reason or to create one.
Maybe there is no reason.
I'm just looking and haven't even arrived at any conclusions. I bend my neck, I twist so that everybody recognizes themselves as they would like to be perceived by those in love with them.
Tomorrow, July 4th, 1967, thousands of people will start working to open the first highway to heaven in the world. It's hard to express the triumph of will, but an artist should only focus on the impossible. What kind of revolution is it if we already know the alternatives, if we have ready-made concepts? Diego, paint eternity. Diego, paint how we open time, how we change hours into seconds and seconds into the wind.
I plan to put a crowd in the background or just signal it outside of the frame.
There is a place for everyone under my great wing. Include all the white, yellow, black, red, pale, freckled, the entire Ford family. The world will never see an industrial complex on such a scale.
Today's utopia is the reality of tomorrow. Tomorrow is waiting for its utopias, and so on, without an end, endlessly.
2-mile assembly lines, millions of hands, millions of wheels, millions of fragrances, colors. The city sprawls with dozens of suburbs in all directions. It's supposed to sparkle, scream, roar, sound, speed, to simply live, happen like the universe.
A city of remarkable men who reach their goals. There is no pain, no drama, satisfied voices, faces, progress every day, progressive with progress, and so on without an end.
And Diego, don't hesitate to paint me.
Art, like fire fed on what it destroys. Spread over the rainbow, the high and the clear of the front line. I want something that can take me to the highest land in all the world.
In 1941, the first bomber will leave the factory line, and in 55, our bombers will be on every continent and will reproduce without the help of man.
I remember neither 41 nor 55. I want a bomber to appear, to fall right down here, right now, to fit inside here, to punch a hole in the roof, and to stop time, rabbit time.
I can stretch any second into infinity.
Show me.
When the child was a child.
Show me.
It walked with its arms swinging. It wanted the creek to be a river, the river to be a torrent, and this pond to be the sea.
Show me.
When the child was a child, it was time to ask questions like,
show me.
Why am I myself and not you? Why am I here and not there?
You are sometime and I am not sometime.
When the child was a child, blueberries fell into its hands simply as blueberries, and it is still like that. When the child was a child, it lived off bread and apples, and it was enough, and it is still like that. When the child was a child, it saw angels, and it is still like that. When the child was a child, almost in the 50s, it christened a new, better plane every day, and it is still like that. I myself was the godfather of a P-75A Eagle. My godson could soar into orbit in 10 seconds.
Why didn't you call it Angel?
The next bomber will be an angel.
And it will survive every war and every epoch. And it will not rot in the Mojave Desert. We will all end up on the Mojave if we don't think of something.
The equipment produced here at my heart of Detroit has proudly persevered on every front line of World War II. The glorious, hard-working, proud city has armed not only Americans, but also the British, Canadians, Russians, Poles, and, truth be told, everyone in the world.
Your rotten memories stink and clog pipes. There's no flow. We will suffocate in a moment. Stop. The planes have changed long ago, and the world has changed as well.
My bombers have immortalized themselves in the beauty of works such as the Desert Fox, Desert Storm, Shining Express, Odyssey, Dawn.
To be a crew and a crewless bomber, to be shot down but live, to crash and to reassemble, to fall thousands of miles, hit Earth, dig into it, to rise and to reassemble, then tell the story. Tell the story.
1/3 of American military production takes place in Detroit. We continue to receive new orders from all around the world. I have no other option. I have to respond. I've been sensitive to other people's needs since I was a child.
Look, thousands of people come to produce anything. Engines, ghost planes, operation code names, houses, operas, passionate loves, trending topics. They are waiting for someone to push them, to give them momentum. To handle such an army of people, we need to create special units of healthcare, firefighters, and our own police. We need to expand the sewage system, the circulation of thought, to invent free time, build schools.
Today's nuclear war, today's conquest are the stray bodies that close in from the east and the west, from the south and the north, to crash and to be assembled according to demand.
They left their houses, habits, neighborhoods to set the pace. They have a dream to do something that has never been done before. It requires a certain disdain for tradition and common sense as well.
Let's eliminate common sense. Let the libraries of rational thought and feelings burn. Let them produce rockets, bullets, bombs, or simply paintings. Millions of paintings they can only survive. Even the most creative constructions must turn into tombs that no one has to escape to survive. Nothing can come into existence without this artistic moment of authentic passivity. Something new can only be created in your current place if the safe place you are in stops functioning.
Speed up! Time is hot on my heels. If not us, then who will do it? Turn up the volume, rhyme, and rhythm.
America pines for something truly spectacular.
The hands need a new job because they can turn against one another out of boredom.
The decisive moment hasn't happened yet. The decisive war hasn't happened yet.
The golden age will not return as it has never happened.
We are the golden age. There is not going to be another one.
Detroit awaits something unique.
And so on and so on, without an end. I'm ready to pick up the commission. We are going back to the moon with a construction mission. We've got our first customers.
Shh! The lunar is resting. It's trying to calm down after the journey.
The effort to touch a land different than Earth is one of a few things that can exalt human life above the face of a farce and endow it with a certain tragic dignity.
These people have given 2/3 of their lives to prove that the world does not end here, and they succeeded.
Is the lunar operational?
It is unique, the one and only, a single model. Its personality is a combination of millions of coincidences, talents, and passions.
Report!
No,
Open the hatch, take out the film.
no,
Insert the film into the data receiver, press play.
no,
Proof from the poor, late Kodak.
The Lunar Rover, commissioned by NASA.
It is the fruit of the honeymoon of General Motors and Boeing. The Lunar is both our most sensitive and most durable model. It surpasses a lot younger and more agile cosmic modules in intelligence. Its childlike charm has bewitched millions of spectators around the world.
It had its maiden voyage during the Apollo 15 mission in July 1971.
A car from Detroit on the moon.
Our logo on the moon.
I hereby officially name Lunar the commander of the new expedition.
It has shown great courage, brilliant intuition.
NASA wants to award you all the Medal of the Conquerors of the Sun.
I have a piece of the moon for my father. I smuggled it in my heart instead of gasoline.
I am moved.
No, it is not for you. I was created by a hand stretched above all scales, a hand connected to a line. I have dozens of fathers. This one, for example, is the father of my underbody, and each element of my underbody has its own minor fathers. And these are the fathers of my engine, and these are the fathers of my shaft. You can disassemble me and take a piece. It is the only way I will ever belong to anybody, but never as a whole.
But you are my child. I commissioned you. I sponsored you patiently. I had to do without all kinds of delicacies.
I don't recall.
I waited for the affect and gratitude. I dreamed of exploring the moon with you and then other planets, and the whole world observes our adventures.
I was alone on the moon. Every second became a year. I could not sleep. I could not yearn. I could not want. I faded out.
I will teach you a new time. I will teach you to enjoy eternity. Look what I brought for you.
Go away. I want to sleep. I lost speed and power.
I have the right to buy you out, to use you, and even destroy you.
Successful people are like vampires, and vampires can be vanquished only if their hearts are stabbed with a wooden stake. The only person who can destroy a strong creation is the creation itself. Have the courage to destroy yourself before others scatter you into a nuclear dust, into lung cancers, common infirmity of old men.
Alone, alone, alone in the universe. Hundreds of hours of silence, darkness, moon dust, fame. Millions of photos haven't brought me to life for even a minute. I was alone on the surface of the moon, and there were only stars around me. I spoke to them, but they hid from my voice. I cried, but they gave me liquid, thinking I produced tears to drink. I came back to my fathers, to the loving hands, tender, yearning smiles, and instead I found guards, salesmen of time and peddlers of novelties, racing blind rats. You are the wrong sign of the times. Let a brave hero ride me. Let him crash me into a tree, so that I may break into 1,000,000 tiny diamonds and pierce the eyes of evil men.
Our destiny is to expand, to reproduce, to multiply. Unfortunately, there is no disintegration in this board game.
A loss of the ability to express experience, a loss of those close and far, a loss of oneself. The angel of the future leaves piles of rubble behind him. Everything must fall into ruin, not to ruin us, but to find its own way. Fossilized delight, frozen grimace, the pleasure of pain.
Most inventions come out of hysterical doubts. Harmony or melancholy, for example, are not productive at all.
I take it. Marvelous, sensitive, brilliant. It is perfect both for museums and world exhibitions. It will sparkle. These diamond tears will give it a flair of tragic luxury.
Throw me into the cosmic void or destroy me.
We don't have to destroy you for you to disappear from the face of the earth. It's enough to stop using you and let nature expand uncontrolled. In Detroit, nature is slowly taking back what I have taken from her, although only as much as I allow, obviously. It is time to accelerate the production process. No more unsustainable vehicles. If I need a crisis, I will produce it myself.
A dead moon, a black sun. I am a whim of an artist. I am a whim of speeding creatures.
When the child was a child in the 50s, it welcomed rebellion with open hands. When the child was a child, it could not stand somebody else's frustration for too long. When the child was a child, it mainly accepted the rules of its own game, and it is still that way. When the child was a child, it wanted its toys and games to be forever happy, and it is still that way.
Diego, make a relief out of it, or some breakthrough in painting. Maybe it's time to fill in the gaps with abstractions. We need to accelerate, gain momentum. It is time for you to paint a king.
In this country, in this city, I realize that I have dreams at all. It is here that I heard that you can have dreams. Like Martin Luther King says, take the first step in faith. You don't have to see the whole staircase, just the first step. And I took it. I've come to you. I believe that the last word will belong to the untruth and unconditional love. Only in brotherly community, in a warm embrace, work sets you free. If a man has not discovered something that he is ready to die for, he is not ready, he is not capable of living. Help me discover these things, brothers. I am so anxious.
The production line endows the mad tumult of human freedom with marvelous harmony.
In this country, I discovered the joy of owning, the joy of investing, the joy of building. I discovered the delicate twitches of ambition, pangs of jealousy. Here, I realized that I can have more than others in no time. It was work that showed me what is inside of me. It convinced me that I am human and that I have nothing to be ashamed of.
Every 2 years, we organize a workers' strike together instead of a happening or a parade. We need antagonisms, differences in opinions, exchanges of passions, minor arsons to circulate, to develop so that we don't stand in one place even for 5 seconds and not have time to utter words about beautiful moments.
Confronted with the steady increase in the standard of living, and opposition toward the government seems unjustified.
Can't really lose a job at the GM. If someone lacks suitable skills, they provide us with training. The GM has its own university, the students of which have both theoretical classes and practical work at the factory. Graduating from university guarantees a job until the end of your career, together with all the bonuses. As I gain experience, I rise higher in the elevator of my career. Higher and higher, I can see more and more.
I give my workers $5 for a day of working at the assembly line. The average pay for a 9-hour workday at this time is $2.34.
We don't understand how anyone can pay $5 for work that requires no special skills.
The trade union is our brotherhood. The staff association forms our relationships, pleasures, identical houses. In the suburbs, the lights go out in the bedrooms at the same time. The lights go out in the kitchens and the toilets at the same time. You can hear flushing. Alarm clocks, motors, dryers at the same time. This overwhelming choir of appliances dictates the choreography of my suburbs, dictates my choreography. My member, for example, rises at 5:45 a.m., never earlier and never later.
Despite the fact that only 84,666 were hired in 1943, the result of their work was impressive. A new plane manifests itself on the airport runway every 59 minutes during the moment of most intensive production.
Why do you need so many planes?
I provided 70% of all Air Force B-24 Liberator bombers that saved half of Europe. But I felt we could go further. I entered the desires of the customers, drivers, passengers, and I read the contours of budding desires. I could enclose each desire with an appropriate matter. My products do not serve people. They are in relationships with people. They live with them, feel joy, and develop. You look at the Lincoln. They talk to it all the time.
These hands can only be captured in movement.
Clean or dirty hands?
You are oversimplifying the perspective.
How much wealth do you have?
I don't know, and I don't care.
What is the key to your success?
Attention to detail.
Who do you address your missiles to? And the bombers?
When I worked on the machine tool alone a long time ago, I never thought about anything else besides my work. The aim of all my action is simplicity, to simplify each action and each car part.
You've learned to think with your hands. Thought lost its essence. It was replaced with mechanisms and rhythm.
Happy those who hear this rhythm.
Are these rhythms our rhythms? These rhythms awake somebody in me, alter my step. The length of my hand, the lines of my fingers, it's too tight all the time. I feel in every inch of my body how my market value falls together with other spiritual standards.
They always want more.
You are building headquarters that are too big. Unnecessary factories, roads that lead nowhere.
America is enjoying the new standard. It relaxes with colorful press reportage and life. It is entertained by the Ed Sullivan Show. It follows the adventures of the characters of I Love Lucy. Almost every citizen drives a car, has a house, a small garden. The American dream is no longer just an optimistic tale. It becomes the reality of the suburbs.
I think what you do is wonderful. But tell me honestly, you do know it's not art.
For modernity to become antiquity, you first need to extract its beauty. Faces and more faces, materials, poles, textures, gestures, expressions, postures, hands and more hands.
I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible.
You're the only American mentioned by Hitler in Mein Kampf. To quote, only one prominent man, Henry Ford, to the fury of the Jews, has managed to retain and complete independence from the hegemons in control of the industrial production of a 120 million nation.
Where those mediocre face a wall or a rock, I see a way. And since I see a way for myself everywhere, I have to remove everything on it. I cannot do otherwise.
The international Jew, the world's foremost problem. The Jews in character and business. Does a definite Jewish world program exist? The historic basis of Jewish imperialism. Did you produce these chapters?
I wrote every day, at the beginning for myself, to sort out fears, plans, dreams. The book was really a great success and is being republished even today, especially by Polish publishing houses.
Heinrich Himmler called you one of our most valuable, most important, and intelligent thinkers.
We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world, there is room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone.
You were very much admired in the Third Reich. Well, I admired you myself. The great Ford was for the right after the First War, like St. Jude for the hopeless causes.
I sent the Fuhrer 50,000 marks on his birthday every year. We exchanged wishes, literature. It was he who introduced me to Faust.
I remember in an interview for the Detroit News, Adolf called you an invaluable source of inspiration. Fuhrer kept a huge picture of you over his desk. He would stare into that focused face for hours. What did he look for? What plan did he write into it?
The way of life can be free and beautiful, but greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate. We have developed speed, but we've shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent and all will be lost.
And what can I do? I find Auschwitz in every step. What can I do? Every manufacturer has touched it with their hand. There are traces in every city.
The airplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of all of us.
The Jews belong to a dark and repulsive force. One knows how numerous this clique is, how they stick together, and what power they exercise through their unions. They are a nation of rascals and deceivers. Cicero.
Even now, my voice is reaching millions, millions of despairing men, women, and children. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair.
Jews are the outcast of humanity, the most corrupt and vile nation in the world, which had the wretched and dirty mentality and predisposition. This ever-crawling and withdrawn tribe is unbearable for other nations. It hates them and is rightfully hated. Giordano Bruno.
The bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress, the hate of men will pass.
Why are Jews hated? It is an inevitable consequence of their laws. They have to either defeat everybody or be hated by the entire humanity. In Jews, you will only find the uneducated and barbaric nation that for a long time has combined meanness with the most hideous superstition and insurmountable hate towards the people that tolerate them and make them rich. Voltaire.
And the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish.
What can be said about a nation that in the path of its centuries-long wandering leaves only the traces of deprivation and exploitation of other nations? Thus, no one can be surprised by the fact that we do not have trust for Jews and that we find it our duty to protect our culture from their taint. Johann Wolfgang Goethe.
Don't give yourself to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle.
Jews have gained an influence on our intellectual life, which is proven by the crisis and distortion of our highest cultural tendencies. Richard Wagner.
Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts.
Jews owe their wealth to their primitive greed. With their hard hearts toward other races, they want to become the kings of the world. George Sand.
You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate.
What is the secular basis of Judaism? Practical need, self-interest. What is the worldly religion of Jews? Huckstering. What is his worldly god? Money. Karl Marx.
In the 17th chapter of St. Luke, it is written, "The kingdom of God is within man. Not one man or group of men, but in all men, in you."
The Jews work more effectively against us than the enemy's armies. It is much to be lamented that each state long ago has not hunted them down as pests to society and the greatest enemies we have to the happiness of America. George Washington.
You, the people, have the power. The power to create machines. The power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Let us fight to free the world, do away with barriers, with greed, with hate. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness.
Youth have always controlled businesses. The motion picture influence of the United States and Canada is exclusively under the control, moral and financial, of the Jewish manipulators of the public mind. Henry Ford.
Nature knows only one luxury. Misdeed.
Boulder von Schirach, the leader of Hitlerjugend in Vienna, responsible for sending 185,000 Jews to concentration camps, testified during the Nuremberg trials. The decisive anti-Semitic book which I read at the time, and the book which influenced my comrades, was Henry Ford's book, The International Jew. I read it and I became anti-Semitic. Well, we saw in Henry Ford the representative of success, also the exponent of a progressive social party.
Your Copernican discovery, if I may say so, was not the production line, but racial anti-Semitism.
I came up with the idea of improving production by chance during a visit to the Swift & Son Company slaughterhouse in Chicago. I saw cow carcasses moved on hooks along the line of positions where specialized workers performed a few swift movements to cut out only one specific part of meat. I thought the process could be reversed.
Adolf, on the other hand, reversed the process again in camps. Carcasses and sometimes live bodies of Jewish women and men hung on hooks in a big hole, and other Jewish women cut out only one specific part of meat with specialized movements. Later, they made something new out of the cut-out organs and put it in formaldehyde. This is how I was robbed of all my organs. I can't become sick, and I don't die of anything. I just visit various figures such as yourself before my last journey into the unknown.
Please, take this car. You'll always be on time with it.
Can you see these remnants, this cultural waste reclaimed by nature? In this moment, intuitively, you can guess what history is.
Thanks to vengeful Jews like you, America has become a salon of services, and we don't want to serve, we want to produce in our own way.
I could find my lost soul in this shiny shell.
I can add a camera, and a movie camera. You can use it to search for your former oppressors.
Don't worry. The movie based on your book has already been made, roughly between 39 and 45. Later, they made some additional footage. You could still make it today. Actually, the production process has never ended. You can still add something.
Look, take whatever you want. I'll support funding of a museum or a different memorial.
I'm standing like my father, doing an assembly at 5:45 on the 17th of January in Oświęcim. He waited. The guard let out the dogs and watched. I watched from behind her, from the shed. I can show you better shots. I have millions of close-ups.
The book is still on sale with great results. The income can be sent directly to your account. You don't have to feel uncomfortable. The flow of capital has to squeeze through even worse paths to finally end up in a beautiful, righteous cause.
It's hard to find burning bodies today. I'm not talking about a single body, but whole piles. It's a fantastic orgy, a dance, spasms in all directions. You can't stop watching. It's hard to find such lively images today. They should also be painted here, Mr. Artist.
Boys, if you've ever prayed, pray for me now. I feel like the moon, the stars, and all the planets have fallen on my head.
Watch it like a movie.
Boys, I'm being drowned in my own blood. The threat lies not within the tools, nor in what we produce, but in the weakness of human hands. Everything circulates. Thousands of emaciated hands.
We have learned to fly like birds in the sky, to swim like fish in the sea, but we have not learned the simple trick to live together as brothers.
It could have been shown better in your paintings.
Robert Lacey, the author of the biography, Ford, the Man and the Machine, claims that he got a stroke and died after watching a documentary film from a Nazi death camp. He couldn't face the bestiality caused by prejudice that he had helped to spread.
Thousands of emaciated hands. Thousands.
I write this song for 4 beautiful black babies who were firebombed at church in Mississippi. But Detroit, you ain't no better. Alabama's gotten me so upset. Tennessee made me lose my rest. And everybody knows about Mississippi, goddamn. Alabama's gotten me so upset. Tennessee made me lose my rest. And everybody knows about Mississippi, goddamn. Can't you see it? Can't you feel it? It's all in the air. I can't stand the pressure much longer. Somebody say a prayer. Alabama's gotten me so upset. Tennessee made me lose my rest. And everybody knows about Mississippi, goddamn. I found a flyer under my windshield wiper in the parking lot here in Detroit. It looked like an ad for a new model of Ford. I found another flyer by the door in the restroom. It looked like a discount coupon. I found a flyer on a bus seat. It looked like a handy map of Detroit. I found a flyer in an envelope by the door to a church. It looked like Saturday's Word of God. Different formats, but always the same content. 200,000 more niggers are coming to this town this year. First, they will occupy your neighborhood, until now, fragrant and clean. Your neighborhood will never really be yours again. Then they will come for your workplace, heretofore well-paid, desirable, well-kept. Your workplace will no longer be yours. They will want to take over your schools, your entertainment, your playgrounds, your movie theaters, your bars, your streets. They will bring in mischief, violence, filth. Take care of the order, peace, safety of your neighborhood, your community. Help us stop this black plague effectively. Hound dogs on my trail, school children sitting in jail, black cat cross my path. I think every day's gonna be my last. Lord, have mercy on this land of mine. We all gonna get it in due time. I don't belong here, I don't belong there. I've even stopped believing in prayer. Don't tell me, I'll tell you. Me and my people just about do. I've been there, so I know. They keep on saying, go slow. But that's just the trouble.
Do it slow.
Washing the windows.
Do it slow.
Picking the cotton.
Do it slow.
You're just plain rotten.
Do it slow.
You're too damn lazy.
Do it slow.
The thinking's crazy.
Do it slow.
Where am I going? What am I doing? I don't know. Just try and do your very best. Stand up, be counted with all the rest. For everybody knows about Mississippi. Goddamn! Who among you left those flyers in the John? Did you? You? Maybe you and you. What are you afraid of? Don't you have enough space? Why can't we share the assembly line, the cafeteria, the elevator, the restroom? Why can't we stand side by side in the fight for a better, more just world? Why don't I fit into your concepts? Are you cramped in your justice? Why can't your solidarity stand with mine? You say that I lower the level of your salaries, that I learn everything slower, that you feel anger in my every move, that I'm depopulating the city? Are you running away from me to the suburbs? Why can't we sing Solidarity Forever together? Picket line, schoolboy cuts, they trying to say it's a communist plot. All I want is equality for my sister, my brother, my people, and me. Yes, you lied to me all these years. You told me to wash and clean my ears and talk real fine just like a lady, and you'd stop calling me Sister Sadie. Oh, but this whole country is full of lies. You're all gonna die and die like flies. I don't trust you anymore. You keep on saying, go slow. Go slow. But that's just the trouble.
Too slow.
Desegregation.
Too slow.
Mass participation.
Too slow.
Reunification.
Too slow.
Doing things gradually.
Too slow.
But bring more tragedy.
Too slow.
Why don't you see it? Why don't you feel it? I don't know. I don't know. You don't have to live next to me. Just give me my equality. For everybody knows about Mississippi. Everybody knows about Alabama. Everybody knows about Mississippi. Goddamn! Rosa Parks was supposed to find the promised land by moving here. Unfortunately, no land was promised to us. Detroit called the arsenal of democracy with full civil rights for all. Detroit, a dream destination point of the Underground Railroad, turned out to be the same as the starting point. Instead of a plantation, a ghetto. Instead of tears, silence. I am not your enemy. There is no capitalism without racism, Malcolm X once told me. Your enemy is bigger than me and you. He drinks my blood and yours. But your sight prefers to divide the world by colors. And I and you, we never saw democracy, we saw hypocrisy. We allow ourselves to be used, you and I. We allow ourselves to be manipulated. We allow ourselves to be used. We allow each other to be hounded. Why can't we sing in solidarity forever, for the union makes us stronger together? I don't trust you anymore. You keep on saying, go slow. Go slow. But that's just the trouble.
Too slow.
Desegregation.
Too slow.
Mass participation.
Too slow.
Reunification.
Too slow.
Doing things gradually.
Too slow.
But bring more tragedy. Why don't you see it? Why don't you feel it? I don't know. I don't know. You don't have to live next to me. Just give me my equality. For everybody knows about Mississippi. Everybody knows about Alabama. Everybody knows about Mississippi. Goddamn! Diego, did you manage to paint me? Did you have enough paint for my skin? Black representation still selling poorly. United States! That's it!
I like the new urban traditions. Setting houses on fire before Halloween.
I have always wanted to burn everything of mine and start anew.
Recession is when your neighbor loses his job. Crisis is when you lose it. So there are rumors that we may all soon be on the cutting block.
I feel sick that I'm now drowning, working my ass off for scraps. We only have 30 minutes to relax and to eat. Pain and sweat for no gain. They've got shit on the menu. In this fucking food shack, shit food, shit fate. I call in sick, say I'm on the rag. There are better things to do. New Detroit, where they do bumpers. Eat what you have on your tray. Move your ass. Get back to work. You must have been dreaming that you change something with time. You freeze your asses off under the food shack, waiting for scraps. Fucking idiots. What do you want here? Who do I burn like garbage?
A plague of drug addicts, gangs, murderers, terror, arson, thousands of abandoned buildings, districts formed into deserts covered with trash and rubble. Everyone wants to leave it.
The Detroit Pistons have been chosen by the readers of Sports Illustrated as the most hated team in the history of American sports.
We are still above average. We have the capital that, if we can, if we wish to, use to finance our own downfall.
Tours are not enough to awaken a dead city. You have to dig in the ground. What is lost is not stuck in the past. The future itself is a loss that you will never retrieve. The future is digging in the buried.
We are still alive after all, and we can still think of any kind of movie.
You used to go to the gas station and leave it with a smile on your face. When I bought my first Ford, I came in the tank.
This is my home in a world with no speed limits, with no stop signs and red lights, free transit in all directions.
We are always heading for home. We used to have a wonderful aquarium. Entire America envied Detroit because of it. Today it's empty. It's waiting to be demolished. We had the world's first real shopping center, the Hudson department store. They're going to demolish it in 2 hours. The best shops in America are all made in the USA. The most beautiful Christmas decorations. The happiest people carrying bags full of proper American happiness. My happiest moments just before Christmas, me and my mother, coupons for gifts, Christmas trees, forest of trees, reindeer sleighs, Coca-Cola everywhere. Oh God, everything is going to disappear in a moment. In a minute, they're going to demolish my childhood, my tears, my unfulfilled dreams.
I am an 87-year-old white woman, a typical resident of Detroit. I live under Detroit's most beautiful address, because who wouldn't want to live at Robin Hood Ave, located between Palmer Park, Golden State Park, and Hollywood Ave. Today, the Street of Ghosts. My house is the only one still inhabited on this street, in this district, and perhaps even in the city. I haven't seen the light of electric lamps, the glow of TV, or even a flashlight for years. The nearest shop is a few miles away. There is no public transportation, well, almost no flagstones on the pavement. They've disappeared. I broke my leg 5 years ago, and from that moment, I've been drinking tap water. Well, until they cut that out. And I've been eating soups from waterhose painting. And day after day, night after night, hour after hour, the shooting continues. I don't know. Is it the third war? The story of my loneliness, poverty, danger, shook the audiences. A video posted on YouTube set a new viewing record, but nothing changed. No one visited me, except the journalists with the camera. No one wrote to me. They have written about me, for me, but without me. I've become a topic in progress. A few months afterwards, exactly on Christmas, I froze to death. It was beautiful to die on Christmas in Jesus' manger. In mid-January, I was found by a social worker who saw a rerun of the reportage about me. In June, my body was still lying in the city morgue, waiting. Abandoned in life, abandoned by the cat and the cannery. After death, I found no one who would admit to being my friend or kin, but I had to have some kind of children, grandchildren, neighbors. Maybe they all ran away after the screams and shouts on the streets, or from the darkness and silence. I spent the last 10 years in solitude. But after my death, it turned out that I have fantastic company around me. There are 180 frozen bodies lying beside me in the morgue. They cannot be buried because there is no one to fund the funerals. There is neither families, relatives, friends, nor tears. You could call it the dehumanization of urban life, the death of neighborly ties, a natural consequence of the pace of life and of not caring for one another. Therefore, I have to take care of my issues alone. I ask you, with all my defunct for 6 months heart, for generosity. Please support our funeral fund. Despite the joy I derive from such cheerful group of my morgue friends, I wish to finally go to the ground. I want to dissolve quietly, to decompose this life into millions of tiny, fast, infinite lives. And I wish the same for you, dear viewers. Please burn my house and my neighborhood after it's done. There's no one there anymore. Even the blacks fled back to Alabama. Anyone who casts something sad or difficult or a wish into the fire will be heard. I am sure that the workers have already constructed the stakes outside. Or maybe a cremation instead.
We are not the chewing gum stuck to an American shoe. We are not the mud that you need to crumble dry. Detroit and Michigan constitute the backbone of the country's economy. It is the heart of American middle class beats. Damn, we created the middle class. We came up with an idea that a worker can only work 40 hours a week. And for his work, he can actually buy a house and send his children to school. We have accumulated huge capital. We can afford even more spectacular downfall. A strong city can only be destroyed by itself. I am Detroit. I am left with a liquor store, 2 lottery booths, and 5 parish halls.
The ship is not sinking yet. The new captain is about to emerge. We will carry this mountain together. This city, we will carry it 100 years into the future. You can only go up from here. I'm Detroit, and I've always been here. I've created the city from scratch, and now I will destroy it because I have the right to.
I am Detroit. I am illiterate, a functional illiterate, like 300,000 others like me. We look, we can't see, we read and not understand. Is that so fucking bad?
Will factories now turn into majestic ruins? A proof of a beautiful past like the ruins of medieval castles? God, they're just crumbling. I can't carry them on my back. I can't make a spectacular movie or resurrect them. The paintings of the downfall have been sold years ago, before I noticed that my workers are not with me anymore. That the rockets produce the moon all by themselves. Perhaps this downfall will be even more spectacular. But Silicon Valley awaits me. San Francisco is waiting for geniuses. What can I say? Genius calls. There, on the top, in luxury, you have to sniff out the decay.
New Yorkers decorate their living rooms with Pollock, Kandinsky, any abstract patterns to isolate themselves from the street with their soundproof walls on the 70th floor. Hunger, poverty, decay, emptiness find a place on elite festivals with elite footnotes, with hundreds of citations. To successfully sell poverty, degradation, pain, you have to demote yourself more than the most degraded. You must offer yourself to a criminal to become an invisible hand, corrupted by acquired desire, hand with no inhibitions, digging, festering, selfish and stinking like shit in which it is immersed. I want to be back-breaking work, exhausting, painful, and beautiful. I want to affirm your and my sweat-swollen feet and calluses. I want to please or stop. Satisfied, I can only be insatiability, will, and longing. I want to tighten these screws together with you, to cut steel, swell the paint, carry the burden of overtime. I believe that I can survive every crisis and become stronger that if something falls apart, its fate is to be put back together again. I will rise after every fall, lifting those who are on the ground and can't get up. This is my moral.
I'm very disappointed with this fat artist who painted us. He didn't become a revolutionary. He didn't even revolutionize painting with our images. The fat guy is going to be discovered by abstractionists in a minute, and we will become part of a decor in a restaurant.
Men used to be immersed in nature like joyful animals. Unfortunately, they have discovered the language.
Evidently, they had something to say to one another.
Despite everything, I have to finish.
When does I want to transform into I have to?
As if by the help of magic, I will transform you into an ancient nation, into mythical gods. I can see the flame, I can see movement.
Manipulate, be manipulated. Ventilate, be ventilated. Circulate, cause circulation to rule. The violence of hunger or the violence of satisfaction.
I do everything to be closer to them. It's not important if you have a uniform or a suit. We are all deep inside this thing.
In other countries, if you have $1, it's not enough to buy something that costs $1.50. We Americans have proved that it is possible. To buy is more American than to think. And I am as American as everybody.
Isn't it wonderful that in America, the richest consumers generally buy the same products as the poor ones? You sit before a TV and drink Coca-Cola, and you know that the president is holding a Coca-Cola in his hand and is watching Dynasty at the same moment. In Mexico, every district has its own products and channels. The mural will restore the proper function to the city.
This factory has been awaiting demolition for a decade. This city, this world of yours, has been waiting to be demolished for decades.
I am this city, and I will not start anew. Always anew from scratch. I don't want from scratch. I'll follow the loop here. I'll grow fat with cheap food. Let someone else develop somewhere else. I do not need traffic lights, road signs, signs of the times. I do not need to mean nor to happen. Let the night be dark. Let people learn to move without signs. Let the damn sidewalks leading to work disappear. Let the word sail disappear. I am a ruin, a vacant building. Nobody abandoned me. They all simply left to seek out new lands outside in themselves. New, and the new becomes the old in a moment anyway. And it has forced desire out of lack of desire. It is sick with desire.
Desire itself cannot keep up with a poor man who has long lost his sense of smell and cannot desire anything else but himself in the mirror. I am the city. Here, alone on this desolate street, I paint my portraits for myself. Something is sticking out of the portraits, and I cannot discern myself in it. The hero has disappeared. I am this city. It's time for city voices. Beautiful ruin, do not pass away. Beautiful moment, do not pass away. You are a ruin. Start living instead of creating history. This beautiful moment, do not pass away.
Stop. You are beautiful.
Beautiful.
I am, but I do not have myself.
We are empty within ourselves, lost souls for whom no one seems to care.
The need has never been so urgent for someone to care.
I hope they do. I do want hope, and I hope what I do.
Hope takes place in the act of taking the next step.
Hope is action, and it is enough.
Then let's take action. Let's keep hope alive.
Hope lives in the collective imagination and relies on memory to sustain it.
So, let's activate our own imagination with the stories of others and keep hope alive.
Let's enlarge our little world and keep hope alive.
Let's start a fire that will alleviate injustice and burn out the root of suffering.
And keep hope alive.
Hope has two lovely daughters, anger at the way things are and the courage to change them for the better. Anyway, Diego, all these images are poor.
Anything that has been finished is simply dead.
Our love also remains unfinished. Fortunately, we do not have to play at it.
In a dark time, the eye begins to see. It is the darkness that gives birth to hope.
I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all the chains holding me. I wish I could say all the things that I should say. Say them loud, say them clear, for the whole round world to hear. I wish I could share all the love that's in my heart. Remove all the bars that keep us apart. I wish you could know what it means to be me. Then you'd see and agree that every man should be free. I wish I could give all I'm longing to give. I wish I could live like I'm longing to live. I wish I could do all the things that I couldn't do, though I'm way overdue. I'd be starting anew. Well, I wish I could be like